Hey everyone, this is John Nelson with Torn Outdoors, and today we're going to talk about finesse fishing. We're going to start with this one bait right here. This is a finesse style worm. Okay, it's a 4-inch bait. We call this a Striker 4.0. We got it paired with a wide gap tungsten head. It's a very finesse style presentation. We're going to use our spinning rod today. We're going to use a fluorocarbon tied to a braid, but we got it skin hooked. We don't have an exposed hook because we're going to be focusing on some wood, some micro bluffs, and then some brush piles. So we got a 1/6 ounce, which is right around a 3/16. So it's a lighter presentation, be a little harder to throw with a bait caster. So we're going to go with a spinning rod presentation. It is a finesse style bait. You can hop it around, you can drag it, but we are doing more of a finesse style presentation. And when you do a finesse style presentation, you want to have that lighter gear. So for instance, I got lighter fluorocarbon line, and that works better and pairs better with a spinning reel versus using it on a bait caster. So the spinning setup I have here is just a Daiwa reel. It's a 2500 series. It holds plenty of line. Right here is a 15-pound braid that I have, and then I attach a fluorocarbon line to this braid. And what I have right here is a 7'6" spinning rod. It's a medium fast tip, and this is actually a Cashin rod. It's a John Cruz series, but it's a fantastic spinning rod. I got it specifically for feel. And when you're using a tungsten head and you want a real sensitive rod so you can feel if you're dragging it through sand or rocks or caught on a stick, and then ultimately when you can feel the bite. Okay, so we have what I call this color at Torn Outdoors is a mean green. It's like a sharp watermelon seed. And what I do here is you can see the tail is quite a bit brighter. And one thing I do with more of my green colored baits, I use a little dip and a chartreuse. I just dip the tail to give it more of a contrast, a little flicker. Chartreuse is a very natural color when you're talking about panfish, bluegills, and things like that. But we got that way that gives us a nice little contrast. If you notice, we designed it with the ribs, and if you're interested in covering up some scent, you can use these like fish sticks, and when you rub them on the bait, it's going to get caught up more into those ribs, and that way it'll stay on the bait longer. Now there's a lot out there about scents. I think one of the most important things is about covering up scents, like things on your fingers. So it's not necessarily always to attract fish. It might be to cover up some scents that they'll want to spit that bait out. And any slight little extra second, part of a second, if they hold it just a tad longer, you'll get that hook set in them. Right now we are in a main leg pocket. And in a main leg pocket, I'm kind of looking for where the shad are kind of staging up. In particular, in this main lake pocket, I'm looking for the last steep banks. And the reason I'm looking for steep banks, you got colder water, and you got fish that don't want to travel far. And they like the comfort of moving up and down in that water column. And so they don't have to go as far. If it's a real shallow, long bank, they're going to have to expand or use that energy to get all the way up and come back out. But when you got a steeper bank, all they have to do is use their air bladder to go up and down to feed. We're going to look for those steeper banks. We're going to look for that chunk rock. Rocks will be able to hold that heat from the sun. It's going to warm up better and retain that heat to draw, whether it be shad, crayfish, bluegills of that nature, all the forage for the bass. And so we're going to kind of key on those types of banks, and we're going to use our graphs, and we're going to just try to shake away, like I said, to get a bite. And I'm also looking for a little cleaner water. I happen to find a pocket with a little cleaner water. That way the fish can see it from a little further away because, like I said, when it's cold, their metabolism is slow and they aren't going to travel as far to eat. So that's kind of what we're looking for. We're looking for steeper banks, main lake pockets, where there's some bait, some forage, and I'm going to be looking for a little cleaner water because I'm doing this presentation to try to give them to the sight feed.